be kind of a get ready chit chat with me. We're going to talk about my career as a speech and language pathologist. So I've already primed my face with our e.l.f. poreless putty. I'm going to go ahead in with my Clinique Even Better Than Skin foundation. So as a speech and language pathologist, I have the option to kind of work pretty much anywhere I want to. I can work in the school setting, I can work at the hospital, I can work at the nursing home, I can travel, I can do private practice. It's just pretty much all up to me what I would like to do. I currently work part-time for a staffing company for home health. So I go into people's homes and I provide them speech and language, swallowing, and cognitive therapy. So based off of my evaluation results, that will let me know what exactly I am going to be what type of therapy I will be providing to that particular patient. I also am a full-time speech therapist for the school system here where I live, and currently everything is virtual, which this should be very interesting this year. I'm at a high school. This is my first year in a high school, so I don't know the children, they don't know me, I don't know staff, so this is just going to be a very interesting year to say the least. But back to home health. So with home health, you go into people's
homes, and yes, with the pandemic been going on,
with the pandemic going on, it has been for me a bit difficult to build my caseload of patients up. So currently I only see about 2 or 3 patients a week, if that. That's on a good week. And I'm okay with that because I don't want to go into too many people's homes and I don't know who they have coming in their home. So this is just, for me, good. Like, I'm okay with my 2-3 patients and I'm fine. So I do that, and then when I go to the schools, I'm providing therapy to my kids, and kids can have various different disorders as well. Receptive and expressive language disorders, speech disorders. I work with children who, have autism. They may use an AAC device, which is an augmentative alternative communication device, which has pictures that they're able to kind of press on and communicate their wants and their needs. So in the school setting, you're doing more so one-on-ones, or you're in groups with your kids. And when I'm in my home health, it's definitely just direct therapy. I'm just with that one patient, and sometimes their caregivers are there. So I'm able to kind of give, education to the caregivers and kind of show them the strategies and therapies that I'm using. So whenever speech therapy is over, they can carry over and continue seeing progress with therapy. So as a speech and language pathologist, everyone asks, well, what is it that you do? Do you just help people talk? No, I help people communicate. And communication can come in all different types of modes. Talking, and those who are visually impaired, those who are deaf, they may need a hearing aid, they may need, sign language. It's all different modes of communication that speech and language pathologists have expertise in to try and figure out what works best for their patients. So I'm gonna go in now with my Tarte Double Duty Beauty Concealer. So back to speech and language pathology, there are different aspects of my field. So as I mentioned before, you can work with someone who may have a speech disorder, which means that they are having difficulties producing sounds that help produce words. So as a speech therapist for therapy, we would go in and we would just work on sounds in isolation. Whatever sound that child or that patient may need extra help on is what I will work with them on. And then we'll try to move into words, and then we'll try to move into phrases, sentences, so forth and so on. They may have a language impairment, which consists of basically how you understand what you're reading or what you're hearing. And we go into, I'm looking at my notes, y'all. Then we go into pragmatics or social communication. This is how kids or people in general just interact with others, you know, taking turns and, you know, being able to listen to your communication partner and things like that. So now I'm gonna go in with my Infallible Pro Glow. With this. So now we're gonna talk about voice. So I may work with a patient who has a voice disorder, or they may have had surgery on their vocal folds, or they may have had cancer on their vocal folds and they needed surgery. And so afterwards, they would need to come to a speech therapist to work on getting their voice back. Then we have what you call fluency or stuttering. So you may have a patient or a child who stutters. Stuttering is exactly what it is, what you think it is. Stuttering over words, over, you know, sentences. And sometimes with stuttering, there are behaviors that kids or, you know, your patient may show you, secondary behaviors like blinking really fast or
having prolongations, repetitions, those types of things.
Then we get into the cognitive aspect of speech and language pathology, which focuses on your patient or your students' memory skills, their thinking skills. Remember in school when we were taking a test, you know, our teachers would be like, you need to use your critical thinking skills. You know, people have difficulties with critical thinking skills. So as a speech and language pathologist, I will work with my patients on different strategies to help improve their cognitive skills, basically. So lastly, we have swallowing. Swallowing is exactly what you think it is. Swallowing. Yes, you have babies, you have adults. Anyone can have a swallowing difficulty. You may have a patient who had a stroke and now they're having difficulty swallowing or chewing or preparing their food. So the speech and language pathologist would come in, we would have therapy with that individual, and we would look at their food texture. We would see if we need to downgrade it. Maybe they aren't able to eat regular foods anymore, so now they need to eat puree food. So we would make diet recommendations, you know, to our clients, to our patients, and things like that. And especially in the hospital setting, you definitely need a speech and language pathologist, because those who do come in and have those strokes, they need to see a speech and language pathologist immediately. So the speech and language pathologist will come in, evaluate that patient, and make a diet recommendation based off of the test results. So as you can see, as a speech and language pathologist, I kind of do a lot. Right now, I really like the geriatric population and my adults. But that's why I went into high school, because I figure since I like the older adults, maybe I would like, you know, the high schoolers as well. So this is all going to be very interesting to me. I have been in the field for going on 2 years. Yeah, going on 2 years. Wow, that happened fast. Going on 2 years. So I did apply to a couple of schools out of state, and I ended up getting accepted to Tennessee State University. So I attended Tennessee State University in 2016 and graduated in 2018 with my master's in speech and hearing sciences from Tennessee State University. It was a journey, to say the least. I will definitely say becoming a speech and language pathologist is not for the faint at heart. It is very, very difficult. I do not downplay that whatsoever. I was blessed enough to have a GA position my first year that I was in grad school, and that's really what they tell you. Your first year, you can still work, you know, like a little part-time, you know, part-time gig or whatever. You can do that. But once your second year starts, you don't have time. There's no way possible, because you have to do your externship and you have to do half of it in the school setting and half of it in a medical setting. At least that's how my program was set up. Each program at each school is set up completely different. But at my program, that's what your second year consisted of. No way possible that you could have a job and be effective in getting your schoolwork done. It just was inevitable. I mean, some of my classmates, they were able to do it. I commend them. Some had babies, some were planning weddings. I commend all of y'all, because I was single at the time and I was stressed out. I will say, those who are looking into the field, do not go in thinking that this is going to be easy, because it is not. You're going to have to study like you ain't never studied before. Like, grad school in general, not just for speech and language pathology, but grad school in general is just so much more time consuming, so much more. It's just, it's a challenge, but it is so well worth it. I would say to anyone, if you have the opportunity to go to a grad school, go. Please go. It's a great opportunity. I love the people that I met. I love the experience and everything. But it was a challenge. I'm not gonna lie. So after I graduated, or after you graduate, you have to do what you call a clinical fellow. So this is a period of about 11 months where you're in a setting and you're being supervised during this time. So I did my clinical fellow in a nursing home. I did it in a nursing home, and I had 2 nursing homes that I was covering, and I was the only full-time speech and language pathologist as a new grad. So it was very interesting. It was tough. I had some challenges, but I got through it. And once I finished, I decided to move to Florida. I love what I do. It's just so amazing, the lives that I touch, and especially in the home health setting. I'm thinking I'm liking that setting a little bit more, so I don't know if I'm gonna go back to the school setting once the school year is over, because I really like home health. It's just amazing. I'm gonna use Morphe's James Charles palette. This is the mini one. This isn't the big one, but I like it. I don't use it often, so I was like, why not today? Let's try it out. So these are the colors that come in it. Not really sure what I'm feeling today. I think I may do something a bit more neutral, maybe a pop of color somewhere, but we'll see. So we're gonna get into this. As a speech pathologist, a lot of the time we have to, educate our caregivers and our patients, and letting them know that, realistically, let's work on what's functional for you. Let's work on how can you at this moment be efficient in communicating better with your family members, with your friends. What are some things that we can do to help you? I always try to make things fun for my patients and my clients, because the more enjoyable therapy is, the more memorable it is,
and the beneficial is going
to be, because you enjoyed it. Period. If you enjoy it, everything's gonna be just fine. and you have to be able to really kind of console your patients sometimes, because sometimes it's not always about the therapy. You want to make sure that you are really kind of connected with your patient and you build that rapport and that relationship, because that's going to make everything so much more better. They're going to want to participate more. They're going to want to be engaged more. And it's just the overall just better situation. So I'm going to move into my contouring now, or bronzing, you know, my favorite part. So we're going to bronze. We're going to bronze.
Till stop playing with them.
Okay guys, so I'm going to go off camera, put my lashes on, and I'll be right back. So guys, somehow my phone decided that it wasn't recording, so we have some lost footage. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned something. I hope that I was able to answer any questions. Now you kind of know the basis of what it is that we do in our profession, so I hope that you will take what you learn and maybe tell a friend to tell a friend, because it's up to us in our community to educate each other on our different professions and, you know, keep it going. We need more people. We need more Black people in speech and language pathology, period. Deciding to kind of put our profession out there, letting people know what it is, what we do, who we are. I thank God that, you know, He has blessed me to be able to kind of pick my own schedule, work where I want to work, see who I want to see throughout this whole entire pandemic. And I'm just so blessed and so grateful, you know, that God placed speech and language pathology into, you know, my purpose in life. And this is, you know, what I'm going to do for the next, you know,
10-20 years.
So I hope you guys learned something from this video. I hope that you return to my channel. Make sure that you like this video. Make sure if you're new that you subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.